Welcome to another Riverside Chat here at the American River with Alex Cosper. Okay, this time I'm going to move the chat from the river, from the American River, to my recording studio. And this is where I want to do it because the weather's too cold on the river today. So I just want to reflect on the changing times we live in. Donald Trump was inaugurated as president earlier in the week on January 20th, which is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Anyway, he announced a bunch of radical changes. It's funny, whenever he uses the word radical, like about Biden, he's wrong. Like, Biden's not radical. Trump seems determined to do certain things. And so he has followed through on some of his stuff, but again, back in 2016, a lot of what he promised never happened. So here we are in 2025, and he's doing his second term. And so far, a lot of his changes, I guess I have no comment on, other than one I think is good, and that is declassifying the JFK, RFK, and MLK assassination files, because that's been covered up too long. Like he says, it's in the public interest, and the public has a right to know. So I'm for that, releasing those files, even though I don't know if it's going to come out, without being redacted. Redacted means they just black it out. And that's what they've done in the past. So there's still a lot they don't want us to know, apparently, but I'm interested to see what kind of files come out of that. Because in my opinion, just like Congress declared back in the late 70s, they reopened the JFK case and concluded it probably was the result of a conspiracy. Yet big dumb media never says that, do they? They always quote the original report, the Warren report that's been debunked, the lone nut theory, and they keep calling Oswald like a loner when they had government files on him long before the assassination. They say he defected to the Soviet Union in the late 50s, but he said on a radio program while he was defending Castro that he was never a Soviet citizen, that he went over there and that he applied to become a Soviet citizen, but didn't happen. And by the way, he probably wasn't the shooter in the assassination. I don't know for sure, but I can tell you that a lot of the evidence they tried to pile on him would not have stood up in court, because a lot of it was just either circumstantial or looked like manipulated evidence. We can get into that on a show sometime, but the main thing is the Secret Service didn't do their job that day. That's why Kennedy was killed, the real reason, because no one was protecting him. In earlier parades, they protected him. They had at least a few agents riding on the limo. They didn't do that at all this time. In fact, you could see the video of the head of the Secret Service telling the agents to get off the limo, to stand down when they were at the airport. So Kennedy had no protection on either side, and the limo was going slower than it should have been going. It should have been going 3 times faster. And it was moving at a snail's pace, making it easy for a shooter. Instead of stepping on the gas when the shots started ringing out, the dumb driver slowed down. And on top of that, there were a bunch of dummies working that day for Secret Service who had hangovers from the night before. They violate another violation. They did not follow regulations. You're not supposed to party the night before a presidential motorcade. Okay, so they had hangovers, and they didn't seal off any windows. They didn't seal off any snipers' nests. They even admitted they had no agents anywhere in Dealey Plaza where the shooting took place, and that the cops weren't around either, and that all kinds of other little things we can get into sometime. But just to let you know, that case never was closed in reality. It was always a mystery. They always kept trying to cover up stuff. And what they told us, a lot of it's been debunked already, partly from the Zapruder film, which itself has to be examined more closely because it looked like they kind of altered the film to make us think certain things. They cut out the part when the limo just turned on Elm Street, even though Zapruder said that he started filming before the limo came on Elm Street. So all these little things, they add up. There's been some great writers that have uncovered a lot of fascinating information about it that's factual. That's not just conspiracy theory. That's just some lousy cop out when you call someone a conspiracy theorist when a conspiracy really did happen. According to our government, the U.S. House of Representatives reopened the case in the late 70s and concluded Kennedy's death was probably the result of a conspiracy. So, anyway, I'm not crazy for saying all this. That's all on government record. The government wouldn't admit that until then. And there's no way they would just say that just to be saying that. So, something to think about. Yeah, it's a new era under Trump. I'm a DJ, so I've handled sound, so I noticed there were sound problems at the inauguration. Carrie Underwood, the country singer, she sang America the Beautiful. She had to wait like 2 minutes because you could tell they started a tape or something, then it stopped after 5 notes. So she actually had to sing it a cappella, and I actually think she did a great job. To pull that off in the middle of a flop where whoever the sound technicians were, they were flopping badly because that could have never happened at any of my gigs. Anyway, that's enough for now. From my studio, we'll be talking once again, possibly at the river, at the American River, or just back here in my studio. For now, I want you to hear a new song I've crafted. Actually, I did it a while back, but it's a reflection on the 20th century. It's called Wind Around the Century.
Search of infinity. my solitude, and I hear the noise dissolve. All the things I meant to say to you seem to find their